Now, the Nigeria Labour Congress has formally written to the police to explain why its president, Joe Ajaero, could not honor their invitation on Tuesday. Ajaero was scheduled to be interrogated by a police investigation team over an allegation of terrorism financing and treasonable felony. Instead, the Labour movement has called on the police to shift the date of the inquiry to August 29. As the Labour police dispute drags on, NLC has put its members on red alert for a nationwide strike if the situation calls for it. The Labour body said that Ajaero's summon was premised on an unfounded and politically motivated investigation into alleged terrorism financing, cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy, and treasonable felony.
As a committed Labour Centre, that we agreed or that we abide by the rule of law and due process. We will honor the invitation of the Nigerian police because we are not faceless organization, but we believe that we need an extension of time after consultation with our lawyers, because this invitation was extended to the Congress President yesterday and asked to report at the police by 10 a.m. today. So we are already working with our lawyers to look for extension of time. But this does not legitimize the charges by the Nigerian police to the Congress leadership.
Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the issues. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's a pleasure having you as usual.
Of course.
Right.
Now, we're looking at this face-off going on between, the NLC and the Nigerian police, but more importantly, the leadership of the NLC saying that if, any harm comes to Joe Ajaero, or if he's arrested or bullied in any way, they are calling for a nationwide strike. I'd like to know your reactions to that.
You see, they are jumping the gun. It's just a police invitation. Even though the charges are heinous charges, treasonable felony, terrorism financing, conspiracy, cybercrime. They are serious accusations which they should be in a hurry to deflate once and for all. So, to be writing the police after the invitation had expired, do you get me? Does not show respect for the police, does not show respect for the rule of law. And the NLC should be reminded that it is not above the law. Nobody is above the law. Already it has garnered support, even internationally, from TUC, from International Labour Organization. And their concerns are legitimate, right? But you see, again, Labour leadership has jumped the gun. You have already prompted your followership to go on strike. That means it has concluded that if the leader showed up, he will be arrested. That again is jumping the gun. They should not politicize a police inquiry. They have already reached conclusion. They should not politicize it. Let the law take its course. Let the leadership of the NLC show that it respects the rule of law and it's not above the law by honoring the police invitation. Then we talk about that later.
Some of the allegations coming from the CSOs, let me speak of Amnesty International, they're accusing the government of targeting labor leaders. They say government is trying to cripple labor unions. Those are the comments of Amnesty International. Do you feel that they're justified in this?
We just had the massive 10-day strike that, filtered out. Filtered out somewhat. If government was trying to stifle them, the strike would not have come on. It came on in spite of the entreaties of people. That showed that labor was up to its responsibility to its workers. The duty of labor is to make sure that these members have job security and that the industrial relations is practiced in such a way that they have social welfare and comfort. But you see, if you politicize labor unionism, it becomes political unionism, and it's a different ballgame. Nigeria is not Britain. You have the Labour Party, that's the party of the unions. Incidentally, it has just one power back now, after a long time. The DNC convention going on in Chicago, the unions, about 10, 15 unions are there. And that is the nature of politics. You get me? But you do not try to confront government and ridicule police invitation and still think you can get away with it. It's not done that way. You're under the rule of law. Let the labor leadership honor the police invitation. The police has not even said anything yet, but it has to do its duty. Because it's like they are, how do I put it, rubbishing the authority, the legitimate authority of the police now. And I am sure police will react, but then it's a dicey situation. It should not be unduly politicized. Now you mentioned international...
Amnesty International.
They are always there on the fringe. That's their job. Even look at the issue of legal representation for Ajero. That's from the Nigerian human rights advocate, Falano.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, is that not a conflict of interest in you being a human rights activist, that's human rights activism, and then being a lawyer for the labor union? It's a conflict of interest. He should know that. I, as a social scientist, I know that. And somebody should point out that to him. That's politicization of collective bargaining. Yes.
Mr. Sobowale, I want to know what you think about the reports. I think it was on August 7th where the NLC did say that heavily armed security personnel stormed and raided their head office in the nation's capital around 8:30 p.m. and carted away with some documents, and then much later said that it was because they were looking for a criminal suspect. Then following this, how would you assess the role of the police or how they've acted thus far?
Well, the police has explained itself. I won't go beyond that. If the police suspects even me, they can come and pick me from here. They will interrogate me. And I will get a lawyer and defend myself. Ajero went to the east somewhere on the eve of an election. You know what shape he came back? Because he mixed politics with trade unionism. And they paid for it. He should have learned his lesson there. And then again, you see, they should not be seen as being above the law. They should not be seen as being above the law. A police invitation can be given to anybody. And in case they have forgotten history, Awolowo was a mightily popular Nigerian. He remains my hero, even though he's dead. He went to jail for 10 years. So nobody is above the law. And we thought he would not go. But he went. They tried him for 10 months. Although it was a civilian government in power, but he was prosecuted by a British expatriate, one David Lee. He went to jail. Even though Balua himself was killed in the coup 3 years later. So don't let us underrate the undercurrent, but let us please face the rule of law. And let the rule of law prevail.
You didn't give us your one-liner. Sam,
exactly. Well, there's definitely a bigger conversation to be had, and as we continue to watch things develop, of course, we will add our voices to it. Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you so much for your contribution today. We always appreciate you.